Okay, in this segment, we're going to be making a magazine cover. Many magazine covers, I'll bring up a couple samples here, like InStyle. They'll take and clip out the model and put them over InStyle. We know that that's an S back here and a T, especially the S there, but it's just a fun way to make it look three-dimensional in their magazine ad. Other magazine ads, if I can show you a couple samples here, will put it back behind the model or the person back behind, because if they put it over the top of this one, you would only see BI and maybe some of the D. And you'd probably understand it's Billboard magazine, but it's still, Billboard tends to put it larger in the front, a big dominant center of focus, image with their name large. And they do fun things like this, like they'll put, looks like the sticker is just kind of peeling off, so they put fun things. Now notice the type on these magazines. Here's another one InStyle. Notice the type. Now some of the type here, when it says love and your shape, they're going to put that in a sans serif type, or excuse me, a serif typeface, and then sans serif blocky under that and around. So kind of a nicer typeface with maybe italic, and then a blockier typeface on the rest with different colors. And notice how the colors kind of match. Nothing is too loud on this one, but on this Billboard magazine, it tends to have more loud colors. They've got them kind of duplicated down around, or at least similar, so they want these things to stand out more. These type of magazines have just everything going on. They've taken the motocross rider and he's jumping, and it's a real photo, but they did go clip out his name underneath the tires. He's coming out, so it's like he's jumping through. And they've got, gloves and other holiday gift items. A lot of things going on in that magazine cover, but you definitely know what it is. And they've covered up motocross a little bit. Let's see, here's another one here, Moto magazine, and see how they've covered up a little bit, clipped him out. Looks like he's flying out of the magazine. But notice again, the typefaces are very sans serif, a little bit italicized, bold, kind of gritty. That looks like it's kind of the dirt is over the true grit there. Then they put sometimes the UPC symbol there. Then got something else going on inside, exclusive, British Steel. So you look into the magazine to get more. So kind of fun. They got this torn edge on it. Yeah. So we're going to make a magazine cover. The first thing we want to start with is we want to bring our magazine cover here. Let me get this kind of in place so I can see it a little bit better. We want to make it just a new piece of paper. So go File and New, and let's make that piece of paper just in inches. Let's make it 8 by 10. Most magazines are between 8 by 10 and 8.5 by 11. And then just do 300 resolution, RGB colors, great. And let's just call this magazine cover. Okay. And I'm going to kind of copy. Now, by the way, if I hit Command R, you'll see the ruler show up, and that you can tell exactly what size your piece of paper is or your canvas. I'm going to turn that off, Command R. But okay, we got a blank canvas here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of copy this InStyle magazine using InStyle, but make it a motocross magazine using like this little guy here. So like it's a mini bike magazine, but using InStyle's idea with the block up here in reverse type. Okay, so we'll call it Junior Moto magazine. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the logo across the top. So I'm just going to take my rectangular marquee tool, I'm going to make a brand new layer, and I'm going to bring this big square here, and I'm going to flood it with some color. So I'm going to pick a nice bright, like a gold color here, and I'm going to flood that with color. So I'm going to hold down on my gradient tool and go to the paint bucket and flood that in. Command D gets rid of the marching ants, all right? Then in white letters, I'm going to put Junior Moto magazine. So, maybe Moto Junior. So I'm going to change this back to black and white. Now, if you want to just do a reset of the two colors, front and back, just click on this little symbol right here, and it resets back to black. But I want to put white on top for the foreground color, so I'm going to use my reverse right there. Okay, kind of neat. I'll just show you up the bigger here, if I can. Well, it's right there. Okay. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my type tool, and I'm going to pick a nice blocky typeface. So kind of come along here, and I'm going to use this one for now. And I'm going to use, again, white type, so it's white on top, and probably about 72 point just to start, just to try it here, right in the center. And I'm going to call it Moto Junior Magazine. Command T and stretch it up. So you want something really powerful and big to kind of remind you of that InStyle magazine there. I'll kind of move it up a little bit with just my arrow keys. I can move things around where I want. So I'm kind of going to copy this InStyle magazine, so I've got Moto Junior there. All right. The next thing I want to do is, again, copy this. I'm going to put in the little Moto guy here. So I'm going to take this photo, I'm going to drag it onto Photoshop, and I'm going to go Move Tool and move it on. Okay, and I'm going to hit Command T. So I found a nice resolution photo here. I'm going to make Command T, and I'm going to have him kind of flying through the air. Now we're going to clip out this young man from this whole painting, so he's by himself, kind of like this here, this photo. Looks like Portman. You know, I'm going to clip out the young man here. So to do that, I could take it in my eraser, I guess, fly here. Take my eraser, and I could start erasing with a bigger brush using my bracket keys, and I could start erasing this out, but that would take me a long time. And I might do some of it, just, you know, try to get rid of some of it here, you know. But what I would ultimately do is try to clip him out better than that, and it's going to be hard. I can make a smaller brush, and I can really go around him tight. Might be difficult. Hit Command Z to go back in time there when I made a mistake. It's like Command Z. Now, and again in Photoshop, if you make two mistakes, Command Z goes back one mistake, but Command Option Z goes back two mistakes or more. Command Option Z every time it goes back in time. I'm going to use what's called the Mask tool. So let's click right here. It's this little right there. Okay, and I'm going to just start painting the young man. Let me go do it again here. Oops. I know, I'm sorry. I'm going to do this. I'm going to click on that Mask tool, and I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm going to start painting this young man. And it's going to be in pink. So I need a bigger brush, use my brackets, and I paint quickly and get as much as I can, but all the places I want to do it closer, I've got to use a smaller brush. What this is doing is I'm masking out the photo so I can find a selection right around this little motocrosser to cut him out. So I can see through it. It's kind of got a little bit of opacity there, so I can see through it. It's not as opaque, a little translucent there, but it's just so I can see where I'm painting. And this is a lot easier to paint out and get the selection than it is to do erasing. So this is called using a layer mask, or using the mask tool. And then I can do the bigger stuff really fast here and get his boot. But anything closer, I need to make a smaller brush. So I'm just going to do it quickly here. I'm just going to get the tire, and if I want to make it really big, I can get the tire even better, especially round things like this. Okay, and right here. But then on the forks here, I need to make it smaller so I can kind of thinly paint those forks out. And it's not painting things out, I'm just going to make a selection where the painting is. So I need to make a smaller brush to get the fender. So when you have some really wild stuff going back behind, you want to clip out your image, this is the best tool to use in my opinion. Because I can paint with a mouse a lot better using the mask tool. And if you make a mistake, I'll show you about making mistakes here. Okay, I've got to paint him as quick as I can here for this tutorial, but you can do a better job than this. Bigger brush, I can go a little faster on his helmet here. Now we can clean up later as well if we go outside. We want to kind of go a little bit outside the motocross bike here more than inside. Okay. And I got to make sure everything's clipped out, or everything's painted, I should say. Get the motor, get everything here. Anything I might have missed, because we want it all. Looks like the thing there, the gas tank, a little bit here, oops, sorry. Okay, so we're clipping it out pretty good here. Get more of the tire. You want to make sure you get more than less. If you don't, you're going to cut some of the photo off. Okay, and I got to get some of the pipe here. Alright, I'm almost done. And again, I would spend more time than this if I was doing this professionally for a magazine cover. I would spend a lot more time on it and get this more perfect. Chain there. Okay, good enough for now. Now, what we want to do is turn this back off. So we're going to go back down here to our tool and turn that back off, and notice how he's cut out. Now, if I take my move tool and cut him, okay, oops, I want to take out the background. So if I hit delete, everything's gone, pretty much. And again, I would do a better job than this. Command D gets rid of the marching ants. But see, if it's Moto Junior, if that was a real magazine, you can see if you want to kind of move him down a little bit to get as much of the Moto Junior to show, but enough to know that there's a T back there. All right. And instead of this color, I'm going to match the color on his motocross bike, or maybe even, yeah, let's try the orange. Let's see what that looks like. So I'll go back to this layer 1. Okay, and I can go and easily change the color by hitting Command U. Hue and saturation. So I can kind of go play with these colors and get it something more, you know, maybe matching the motocross bike or whatever. Or like Style Magazine, in Style, it's always red. So they always go red. So sometimes magazines want to stay with their color and then the thing changes. But I'm going to kind of go back to the gold. I kind of like that. Okay, good. All right, now the next thing you want to do is it adds some type in here. Now a lot of the magazines have special things above it. Let's see if InStyle does. No, InStyle doesn't. Let's see, these motocross magazines, man, they've got always so much stuff going on. See how it's got Canada source for motocross and off-road? Okay, I'm going to put something like that. So I'm going to go back here and add a little bit of that. I'll move that over, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to go add some type up here and black type. Okay, and Helvetica usually is a good blocky sans serif type. I'm going to go bold, and I'm going to put up here in smaller something. I'm going to go like 30 point. I'm going to put Junior Motocross Magazine. Maybe, you know, World's Best Junior Motocross Magazine. Command T, size that up there. So you're trying to make it look like a real magazine, and you know, if I was a designer of a real magazine, this would be how you do it. Okay. Now make sure you add enough what we call white space, so there's enough room to trim. Okay. Now I'll get rid of this little guy for now. Now again, it looks like his tire's going flat and everything else. I would do a lot better job, and I could do some cleanup on him. I could take my eraser tool and do some cleanup like on his back here, you know, and make this even better. But, you know, and around his helmet here I've made mistakes. You don't want to do too much clipping and stuff, you know. But you could definitely go in and clean this up and get more of a better rounded tire and, you know, blah, blah, blah. All right, but good enough for now for what this demonstration is. And if you want to, you know, make him bigger, you could. You know, this might be kind of fun. You know, the whole thing. You know, I'd really stand out. All right, and then some type. Now, I like to go again to magazines and look at what they've got. If I go back to these motocross magazines, it says plus Jeffrey. Okay, how we gonna? I'm gonna do this plus in a box like that. So I'm gonna take my type tool. Let's first do this. I'm gonna take my rectangular marquee tool. And I'm going to make a square, and I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to paint in that black. So I'm just going to take my paintbrush, bigger brush, I'm just going to paint that black so it's on its own layer. Command D, take my type tool, white on top, so I got white there, and I'm going to put plus. Okay, move that in there in the center. And then I'm going to take my that this is the one that is, yep. See, if you want to find the right layer, you can name your layers, or you can just turn the eyeball off to see, yep, it turned that off so we know that's the layer. I'm going to come down here and add an effects. I'm going to do a stroke. And that stroke is going to be an orange, the same colors on his motocross bike. So I'm just going to click on it and click on the orange, and I'm going to add a stroke that's the same color around the plus. Okay. Now I need to get plus and this box together so they're stuck together. So I'm going to hold down Shift, click on the other one so they're both together, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to say here rasterize type, then right click one more time and merge them. Command T, and I can rotate that. Okay, and I'll put it right up here, kind of plus. All right. Now I'm also going to hit an effects and do a drop shadow on that. Drop shadows always make things look 3D a little bit, you know, so I can do that with the size. That was cool. All right, now plus, you know, find, whoops, and white on white. I've got to make it black. Plus, you can be the, now why is it putting it down there? Next, junior winner. Why is it putting a wall like that? Well, it's called the type and the spacing between, and that spacing between is using the toggle. You click on the toggle and I can change the leading. The leading's right here. I'm just going to put auto. That'll bring it together. And then I'm going to hit Command Move Tool, Command T. Okay, and I can put it right up in there and stuff. Now I might want to make this the same. Now if I want even less leading in between, I've got to go to my Type tool, select all of those, and I'm going to just take my, look at the hand right here. Look at this hand. And just move it side, back and side, and kind of get tighter. That looks better. Move tool. Okay, plus, you can be the next winner, whatever. Okay, I'm just making up things here. Just to make it exciting and make it look like a real, you know, whatever. And if you want to make that bigger, like in green, to really be noticeable, you just click across it. I'm going to put a nice alien dark green here. Okay, and then Command T. And these little motocross magazines, man, they get really good. Now, when it comes across the orange here, you can't see it very well. So let's add effects. And I'll do a drop shadow. Pull that apart a little bit. Okay, spread it a little bit. Yeah. And then maybe even go with a white stroke. So it's stroke, click on this, make it white. That's definitely look like they do the magazines. Make it real loud and fun, you know, and stuff. And after you take plus, I go find the plus there and I can move it here. Little trick, hold down Command and click on things and you can find it. Click and it finds it for you. And move it with your move tool. So, a barcode. I can just go to the internet real quick. I can get it to come up faster. I'm going to find a little barcode here. Just going to put barcode and images, and this is fake one. You know, let's grab one like this is real. You know, but just for fun purposes here. Command T. Don't make it that big. You know, but you could be in the supermarket store. Okay, and then right above that, in black, I'm going to put June 2015. And then let's put $5.99. Canada, $6.99. A little more expensive to ship there. Command T, make it smaller, and move it over the top of it so it looks just real. And then we got to hit Command T again, and let's just kind of drop it in there. Just don't squish the type too much. Make it look real. Okay. Cool. So we've got that there. Now sometimes they don't put it, they just put the prices down there. So if you want to put the date or something different, let's do a line. Okay. So I'm going to make a new layer. Let's get rid of this stuff so it doesn't too obnoxious for you here. I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to paint a stroke on that layer. I'm just going to just stroke a line. So I'm going to take my pencil tool. It's underneath the brush tool, and I'm going to go with a nice hard brush. And pencil-wise, let's go about 6 pixels is good. And I'm going to draw a line right here, like that. And then I want to erase that line, so I'll take my eraser so it's back behind him. So you can make things look three-dimensional more just by having lines on your stuff. Isn't that cool? And then down the bottom, we can put some more, type. Oh, and by the way, that line's on its own layer, so I can move it up with my bracket keys. I can hit Command-T, and I can stretch it out. I can make it thicker. I can do whatever I want with that. But just be careful, because I erased it, and now if I make it thicker, took it back behind there. So I have to move it down, and then maybe do some more erasing. So be careful not to, when you erase, that you do everything you want to do before you get things done. Cool. Yeah, more type. Adding maybe some type down here across him. Look at other magazines. If you want to make this true grit, I can just click type. True. I'll do it caps. True champ. And then I'm going to find a big fat typeface that goes along with that, something different than I've already been using. And you could download something from the internet, but I'll find, this one here, and Command-T and make it really big. And then I'm going to make it in a big bright color. So now there's the lighting. Well, let me do this first. I'm going to hit my effects. I'm going to do a gradient overlay. That'd be kind of cool. Do a gradient overlay, and just click right on the gradient itself. So if I click right on gradient overlay and right on the gradient itself, I'm going to go in and add a 2 color, and I'm going to change that from this gold that I used here and that orange on this side on his handlebar. Okay, and then I'm going to do a stroke, a drop shadow first. Drop shadows always look cool. And then I'm going to do a stroke, so you can get loud and different with some of these. And then I want to do less line in between, so I just select my type again, and I come up here with that little hand, or I can make this, right now it's 84, but I can go 72, that's closer. Oh, that looks nice. And you can put that wherever you want, maybe kind of across his boot, and you can Command-T. And I can also, this is kind of a trick, hold down Command and you can stretch it, make it italicized. So it's jumping with him there. True champ. And then you can put his name there. Harry Jr. Wins again. And then I'm just going to FX, maybe a stroke around that again with white, so you can see it over the top of his tire. Are we looking like a real magazine? Heck yeah. Now, of course, more erasing, more clipping, doing some other things, but Motor Junior Magazine, I would think I would probably put right here, and what I was thinking earlier is I'm just going to click somewhere and just put June. Oops, I'm in white again. I'm going to change that to black. I'm going to put June 2015, issue, and it's huge back here, but I really wasn't planning on doing that huge. I just want to put it just like a real magazine would have. Maybe would have it over here, so you know the date. If you get all the magazines, whatever, that looks nice too. So making magazine covers are really fun to do, and clip out things and make them look real and awesome. So have fun.